This is IBM Museum. In a recent video, I had set up a IBM PS2 Mul 65SX and even ran through the system information tool on it from a floppy diskette because I could not get the hard drive to boot. Once I was in the system information tool, I looked at the partition information and it disclosed itself to be OS2 2.0 that was on the drive. And clearly something like the boot manager was not working correctly. And so just on a whim, I've gone through and got to see what I've dug out of the basement. Get turned around the right way here. And so I've got these packs, and this is full of the manuals. I even have a separate set of the booklets that look brand new condition. So I might even have another opened pack of this around somewhere. But I'm hoping that there's the diskettes I need within that. Looks like that flap is a little bit torn. And it's marked as $25 on it. I don't know if that's the price that I bought it for back in the day. I've got another one here that the shrink wrap is partially torn on it, but looks like it's still wrapping up the package. There's no price tag on this one. And I don't even think that has been slipped out of the shrink wrap before. So I have that as a backup. That feels rather full. I didn't pull the booklets out of this one, but I read through the manuals I do have, in primarily the installation guide. And all I'm trying to do on this video, and I have just no idea of how long this is going to be, that I want to try and run through the diskettes, the initial diskettes, to see if I can get at that. See, this even has, that seal's been broken. Okay. But those diskettes, and I hope they're in as good of functional condition as they are in appearance, because those things look just brand new. And I've got the 65SX connected, and I can get the screen capture up. This is the SCSI hard drive here that has that, what looks to be that OS2 installation. I had to use my diskette drive to connect to this. Didn't have the cable on the 65SX. It doesn't have the back connections. I just pulled that out. It's a quick and dirty way to get a known working diskette on this unit. And we've already been through the reference diskette on this unit. It should go through and boot from the diskette drive here. So let me get the installation diskette. I'll put that in, and I read through the system requirements, and at least the 65SX is a 386 CPU, but I did read through the booklet on, I think, the installation guide, or one of the booklets that told me there's the getting started, and it told me the requirements and making sure that you at least have a 386 processor, and we've got the 16 megabytes of RAM with the planar memory and this adapter being here. So we should have a capable enough of system to run OS2 2.0 and see. I mean, I believe that this SCSI drive, I believe that's original to the unit, and I still don't have I haven't added an XGA board, and I don't know if I'm going to. I just have to play it by ear on whether I do that. I haven't even dug one of those out to prepare for this. And I guess I could have started the make it so it does the memory count. Could have started the machine maybe a minute ago. That's interesting. It's lighting. It's lighting the diskette light on the front, but I'm pretty sure that that's all wired correctly. I don't know why it would normally have that light on. Okay, we're almost getting to the end of the... And this may be a very short video too. I just have to see how the system's going to react to trying to load... Trying to get that boot manager working correctly. Okay, there it spins up the hard drive. Single beep. And running the installation diskette, the first disk. And I don't know how far it's got to go through or what prompts we'll have to follow for figuring out that the boot manager is loaded again. And I don't know if IBM addressed any sort of repair process by stepping through these initial diskettes. Again, if you have a installation that just doesn't boot. Okay, remove the diskette from drive A. Insert the diskette number 1. And this label's slightly discolored on this one and a couple others. But again, I'm hoping in a sealed case. I could probably get the keyboard up. And maybe going through that long diskette change process to I don't want to get rid of anything that would have been installed in a... That's the primary reason for me wanting to look at this installation and get it working correctly, is to see what was there. And I don't know if I'll have to go to my big screen or not here, just to read things. And it is, I did see that hard drive access light come on. Okay. Okay. Enter to continue. Choices from a list. Okay. Okay, installed on drive C. Insert diskette 2. Maybe I can turn these face down. Okay, loading system files. And to recover the data, I don't want to format the partition. Because that goes through and erases all files. So we do not format the partition. Loading system files. So we're on diskette 2 right now. Again, it is accessing that hard drive. And we're just coming up on 15 minutes worth of recording time. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to go through and pause video for any of this. it's a long video, it's a long video. Because I want to see, just have all the process of this recorded, even though it's going through quite a few. Okay. And so far we haven't seen any recognition of like a recovery level. And the only thing I can think of is if it's not a basic OS2 installation that was on there previously, that there were programs added in, that there was maybe even documentation or some other user files that may be there. And putting a new installation in there, I'm guessing that's just overwriting the existing files. And I don't think that there was necessarily any upgrade. But at least we'll end up with OS2 on the system, if not able to access that old installation. There's the boot.com file. Because otherwise it'd be just me guessing at, is there been enough critical files loaded that I could eject a diskette and power the system back on, and would it boot? And I think for this purposes I'll just write it out and feed it diskettes until it doesn't want any more. And at this level, there was not any level of making, when it wrote files to the drive, it just typically would just overwrite the file. It's not going to make a backup copy or recognize that there is an existing file there and rename like the old version as it copies, then it copies the new one. So we are up to diskette 4. And not quite on 20 minutes of recording time. An OS2 loader. MSG. I'm taking that to be message. Okay, diskette 5. And that's the lowest one in the bin. In that bin. And I guess that's the total progress. Well, or maybe it's the process each time from each diskette. And they were talking about up to 15 diskettes for the installation. Okay. So we're through the first set, and we're going to the opposite side to diskette 6. And these diskettes, I mean, they're stored in there. I don't know if they have been okay. And that was worrisome in a way. I mean, it didn't give me it didn't tell me a diskette error, but it told me to put the installation disk. We haven't run into a bad diskette yet. If they've never been used, and I've stored them in an area that I would hope that there's not too much magnetic fields or anything that would affect them. OS2 kernel. And again, nothing so far on any sort of recovery process or where it senses that installation on the hard drive that was there already in whatever condition. And I maybe could have connected it into a newer sort of system and that was able to see the HPFS file system and looked for what files were there, but this just seemed the easy way. I know I had some boxes of the OS2 that I don't even know when I bought those. But they are sure coming in handy now. Okay, hard disk preparation is complete. Okay, remove the diskette from the drive. And press enter to start the system configuration. And then we have some trademarks displayed there. And it put us into ROM Basic. Power everything off. And I've gone through the SCSI ID is back at 6. And I mean, I followed through all the instructions and took the diskette out at the time. I'm not putting any diskette in there. I'm just wanting to run through a cold boot sequence and see if just maybe there's something that wasn't correct. I'm not going to go through on video to repeat that installation process going through 6. For everything I know, it's going to drop me back to this point, the same point. I just would be repeating the same thing over again. So if I don't get a boot from this, I am going to wrap up the video. But what I'll do is I'm thinking that it may be something on the hard drive that is just failed, who knows what. But I have other SCSI drives, and so that would be my next attempt. Is I can't access what existing information was on this drive, so just take the drive out and put another drive in, and then go through an OS2 installation from scratch. And I could also go through, I mean, if this doesn't boot, I don't know how interested I am in connecting this up to another system to look at those files. I could even go through the installation process with this first before swapping the SCSI drive to have OS2 partition the drive, repartition the drive, and that would account for that may get OS2 functional on it. So we learned that there's something to this installation that's just not working. And so I will have another video, and just that'll be the level where I install OS2. And this is a washout. It didn't go through, and it didn't want to access that old partition. But we're still going to go through, and we're going to install OS2 on this 65SX, just because we have the ability to do that. So if you enjoyed this video, click on that like button. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But that is all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.